at birth. Clarence gave a polite bark. He didn't like to be neglected. Sebastian rubbed his neck. When did you get this little guy? He's adorable. A few years ago from a local shelter. Clarence is friendly, but I have to warn you, he can be quite a handful. Never. Sebastian was an animal lover, one of the few traits I shared with my brother and parents. Clarence seemed to agree. He barked again. Clarence has developed a bit of a mouth lately. You'll have to excuse him. Please, have a seat. I gestured to the couch in our living room. I'm afraid we won't be here for long. We need to go back to the city soon. I have a congressional reception I can't miss, but I made sure you were on the guest list so you can join me. Sebastian wrinkled his nose. You want me to go to a congressional reception? I groaned inwardly. You do remember my place of business, right? It's your choice to work for the man, but I don't need to be part of it. Now I remembered why I'd let 3 years lapse since my last brotherly visit. Come on, Sebastian. I need to go to this reception. My boss, Representative Maeve Dixon, is on the committee which oversees the United States Botanic Garden, and tonight's reception is a special event for members of Congress and staff to view the blooming of an extremely rare flower. I took a breath. Surely a hippie can appreciate nature. Sebastian squared his shoulders and ran his fingers through his beautiful locks. I'm not a hippie. I'm an activist. Sorry, an activist. Forgive my mistake. The sarcasm dripped from my voice. Sebastian opened his arms. Kit, I don't want to fight. We're on the same team. We just play the game differently. I nodded, even though Sebastian's comment was the understatement of the day. My brother had a unique approach to life. A brilliant computer programmer, he worked on contract to make enough money to finance his true passion, protesting. No left-leaning cause was too harebrained or idealistic for Sebastian. Picketing the World Trade Organization? No problem. Occupy Wall Street? Sebastian lived in Zuccotti Park for months. Combating climate change? He'd gladly march alongside the penguins and polar bears. I didn't disagree with his beliefs, but I had chosen a divergent path that involved working within the system of government to effect change. Sebastian didn't like that my route often involved compromise. He failed to comprehend the meaning of the word. It was the primary reason I'd let our relationship slide. Then you'll come with me to the reception? I asked. Sebastian sighed. I suppose so. I'd like an opportunity to speak with Maeve Dixon. I pursed my lips. Sebastian, I can introduce you to her, but you can't embarrass me, remember? I'm not a juvenile, but there's no harm in talking about a few issues, right? Maeve Dixon is a reliable vote for many of your causes, but she represents a district in North Carolina. She's got to be careful or she'll lose the seat. Would you want that to happen? Sebastian didn't speak for several seconds. Then he took a deep breath. I suppose you're right. Your way of thinking has value in these troubled times. That's the most reasonable thing I've heard you say in a decade, I said. Come on, you need to get changed before we head out. Sebastian looked down at his khaki shorts, faded Greenpeace t-shirt, and classic two-strap sandals. Aren't we going to a botanic garden? He asked innocently. If all we were doing was visiting plants, that would be perfect attire. But we're also having drinks and appetizers with important members of Congress and dozens of other dignitaries from the legislative branch. You need to step it up. Sebastian gave me an empty look. How? I don't have a suit. Remember, I'm against corporate greed. How could I forget? I thought for a moment. You'll have to try on something from Doug's closet, I said. We don't have time to hit up Brooks Brothers before the reception. Come on. I grabbed his arm and dragged him from the couch into our guest bedroom, where Doug kept his business couture. My husband was a professor of American history at Georgetown, but luckily his wardrobe didn't consist of stereotypical ripped jeans and tweed jackets with elbow patches. He'd never shed his conservative upbringing from a Boston Brahmin family. Most days he wore a suit and tie. The problem was that Doug was a good 3 or 4 inches shorter than Sebastian.